Hello everyone! Welcome back to the channel. This is Jersey and welcome to Palworld, where we are building our first build here in this world. This is my first attempt on trying to understand how we craft, how we build in this amazing game that we are loving, right? We are loving it, we're enjoying it, and yeah, so building is pretty straightforward, right? You get the pieces, you put it, attach it, and you clip it. But it's also very different. The pieces are huge. You know, when you put a big floor, it's a big floor. When you put the wall, it's a big wall. When you put the roof, it's a big block. So sometimes what I wanted to do, it wasn't coming out the way I want to because the pieces are kind of big, right? So I don't know if we're gonna get more pieces in the future, different sizes. You know, maybe this is just the beginning and they'll start adding even more stuff to craft, depending how the builder community approaches this game and how much we want to do. But you know, I really wanted to start organizing my base, right? And that's what this video is about, is organizing our temporary base, because this is still my temporary area until we keep learning more and more about this game, about this world, and where's gonna be our future main setup. But for now, we need to try and we need to learn and we need to understand. So okay, so my first attempt, as you can see, came out kind of small. It's not what I wanted to do. I started noticing that the roof pieces are really big as well, right? So I was like, oh my gosh, so I'm gonna have to go bigger. At first I really wanted to have this little home, right? And but the way, but you know, that way it can look nice, but it was gonna come out too small, by the way, but not just small, but I was not going to be able to create like a roof that I really wanted. So I started thinking, I was like, okay, so I'm going to have to expand. And this is, it became something from something that I really wanted to be small and expanded to something that turned out to be a lot bigger than I really wanted. But because we ended up going bigger, I started adding a couple of features that I really wanted to do, and just so for the pals, so they can have a proper place to sleep. We started working, and then this video became, like I said, instead of just building a little temporary home for the base, became a little base revamp. And we needed just kind of like a organization, right? Getting things in order so it's a lot easier and it looks a lot cleaner. Okay, so what am I trying to do? I'm trying to do is kind of build a home, and I wanted this like wraparound porch idea, and also I wanted that to have a roof. Now the roofing part of the wraparound porch, that was the hardest part, and it was not coming out the way I want to because it looked kind of off, and you're gonna see it as we're gonna progress to this build. It wasn't working the way I want to. Now another thing that I have is about the stairs. They need to be clipped from the top to bottom, and you can't just place stairs on the ground and go up. And I don't know if I'm just doing something wrong. I'm not being able to figure that part out. But sometimes I kind of would like just to put the stairs and place them, and that's it, you know, because it's a really nice piece of item. But at the moment, the only way I can use stairs is they need to be attached to something in the top to go down. And no, it doesn't work all the time either. So, and that's what I mean. I'm still learning. I'm still trying to discover how we're gonna do more creative builds with this setup of pieces, because you can see, you see how big, you know, it's not like you can do a little bit or halfway. You really work in a big block. You know, it's just a big square that you gotta walk. So it makes your roof bigger and maybe taller than what you initially wanted. You know, you may know, originally in my roofing idea, I didn't want to go this tall, but it turned out to go this tall because I really wanted this roof to be in the center, right? And that was like, okay, all right, so we gotta make this over here, we gotta make this over here, and then these other roof pieces here that I'm trying to use here also, they just work very different, and I don't know why. Is sometimes I wanted to clip it where they needed to go, they didn't want to go, and I needed to move in different angles and keep moving and keep moving. It was a weird experience, but the more you play with it, right, the more you're gonna understand it. Now the great thing is that building technically is easy, you know, and I think that's gonna give access to so many people, you know, that maybe some other creative builder games out there are maybe a little more complicated. Now this one does make building very, very simple. There's not many pieces right now that you need to have, you know, is basically straightforward. And you create whatever you want. So as you can see here, this is looking already very funny, right? It's not coming out the way I want to, because I'm noticing, okay, so the roof is coming out bigger than I want to. It's a lot wider now. My wraparound porch is not looking good with the roof. So what can I do here? The center of the piece, because I really wanted just to kind of have this porch roof, but I don't know, it's just, I may need to try it in another attempt and then try it in a different way, maybe in a different direction. But at this moment, this is what I was trying to do. And as you can see, it's not the prettiest thing. Now, the cool thing is that you can do whatever, as long as it's attached for the looks of it, you can be very creative, and if you don't care about a little more the realistic side of it, if you don't care, like all this is hanging in the air and you don't have no support around it. Now, I think this build could look better if we had like some type of support beams that we can add in the future, and then I could put those support beams around the porch, and then maybe that would give it maybe a different look instead of just being this stuff that's just up in the air and elevated. And we'll see. This is early access. So we know that a lot of things can be added, and depending how much we voice it in the community. Okay, so as you can see, I'm going back and forth here. I'm trying to figure out how can I fix this this build that doesn't look good. So the first thing is like, okay, especially I'm going wider than I don't want to go that wide. I still want the wraparound porch, right? So I gotta cut down this roof, and basically we're gonna push it this way and not worry about now the roof wrapping around the porch, because it's not looking right. I cannot make it look right, and it's just nothing was clicking at the moment. So I decided to create maybe a side of the roof that comes down the opposite direction, but not go all the way in the corners. Now, we don't have corner pieces either, so you can't make a corner roof at the moment. And so one of my intention was to just leave it like that and leave a corner of the roof on. But again, in my eyes, it still looked off. It didn't look like it belonged together. It didn't look like it put together. But I did like what I was having, having these sections coming down to the side. Now, that part I was liking. Now, this is another thing right over here that I needed. I was like, oh my gosh, how am I going to do this? But then I figured, okay, what I can do is go in the opposite direction now of the roof, and then put the pieces in the front like this. And it started giving the shape a little bit of a different design. Now, the front was looking good, but the back was not looking good. I'm not liking the back. And then it looked like too skinny, and it looked like really off again. Like, it just keep going in the wrong direction and not the direction that I really wanted to go. Okay, so here we go again. So we're gonna try again. We gotta start taking pieces out. Maybe I'm gonna expand again. And I was like, okay, but maybe I can do the wraparound porch. But the great thing is, guys, don't worry. I still do the wraparound porch that I really want, for the idea that I really want for my pals. But okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna extend this over here. We're gonna extend it to the side. Now I did put a lot of windows, because once you're inside, I kind of want to look on the outside. I think the outside and the section that we're on is very pretty, so we want to look on the outside. Okay, so what I decided now is, let me take these corner pieces off in the air. Now, that helped a lot, but I still did not like that I have all this roofing hanging in the air. I was like, man, I don't like that. It just doesn't look good. And this is when I said it. This is when I mean that I would love to see support beams in the future being added. Now, the great thing about this game is just everything is already like made to fit. So we get just support beams are the same height, as a wall. It's just a support beam. And then the wraparound porch idea will look good. Now, I tried it again to see how this will look. And as you can see, we go front and back. And again, just the roofing idea, it had to be a little shorter, or maybe a different style design, maybe not as thick, maybe a different texture. But we didn't have something that I really liked, and that's the thing, right? Is the vision that I want, is the idea that I want, and I'm a little more always more in the realistic type of side. So it's not just looking the way that I really want to. So once again, we're taking things down. Now, the back of the building, I really needed to fix. is not working. Like, it's just not working whatsoever. It's not gonna look good. So I'm gonna take all of this off again. And one thing that one thing I want to mention is, first of all, don't be afraid again to trial and error, right? It's just break things down, put it back in, don't like it, take it down. And another great thing is that they do make the process of kind of dismantling very nice, right? It's quick, it's simple, it doesn't take time, you get your stuff back. I really like that. And as long as you're building in the base, you're building from storage, so that is such a great help. So you don't have to worry about bringing things with you if you're building outside your base area, and we're building inside the base, so that just helps a lot. Now, another thing that I noticed is, like, we do have a lot of wasted space in these sections, right? Maybe I do make a second floor. I don't know. I don't have a second floor made up in this home. It's still just an empty floor, but we do have like kind of openings, right? So maybe I come back and kind of look in the inside, but I didn't worry about that right now. I just want to kind of get this roof and all that. And at the end, like I mentioned, the roof came out a lot higher than I want to. It did cover. Part of my idea was to keep it a little lower so we can see kind of the waterfall in the background. But by the end, and by the time I finished this, it blocked the whole waterfall. So that wasn't the look that I really wanted. But in the future, I either move it, or we can redo it, or we can just try something else. And as you can see, I'm really trying really hard to make this roof happen for the walk around porch, but it's not working for me. I still not enjoying it. But you may be liking it right here, right? You may be enjoying it. You may like what you're seeing. And let me know. And let me know if you got any ideas from kind of this design. Maybe it doesn't bother you that things are kind of like floating in the air in many ways, but for me, I just needed to adjust it, right? We're just gonna adjust. So the other thing is, of course, the front part is still kind of like floating in the air with no support. So I decided then, you know what, I'm just gonna make the entrance, we're just gonna extend it to the front, make a little shape going on, add a couple doors, maybe add a window, and start working something in the inside. Now, one thing that I started liking is how the pals go actually inside the home. That was really nice. So every time I setting on something over there, they were going there. And this time around, they actually worked a lot better on top of the deck. If you were watching any of the live streams, you noticed that I did kind of like a little deck to put the bed of the pals, because I just didn't want them to be in the ground. But not half of them, they actually did not use them, and it was a weird thing. But you're gonna notice at one point by the end of this video that they all used it the best the way we put them, and it looks so good. It just looks so good, and it makes you so happy seeing all your pal just relaxing. Now, something that it took me a while to catch, and we're gonna fix it, is the front. I made it one, but it should have been two, and so far you can't even tell, but I get to an angle, and then that's when I noticed that the whole front of the building in the home is completely off, and we needed to fix it. So but that's coming, right? Okay, so then I had another vision. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to do a wraparound porch and then a second level, and because I want the pals kind of like they want to be sleeping near me, right? Near the person that they're with and all of that. So I kind of wanted to do that. Now there's a problem right here that you can't really, as soon as you get one of these this flooring close, it just wants to clip in, right? It just wants to add it. So I couldn't get it as close as I wanted to, as you can see here. And also, they're a little crooked. It's a little hard to control when it's gonna be straight or not. I don't have a graph in the floor that can show you the way if you're going straight or not. But it's okay. It's a minor complaint, and that's something that we can, by practice and by eyesight, I think we can all improve on that. But what I decided to do is kind of make a couple of these beds little diagonal. This time I'm not gonna fill them up like I did before. So we're gonna do 2 per square. We're gonna keep adding in different sections, and I really like that. So right now we got up to 13 pals in our base, and we're gonna keep adding, right? So we got a future proof in a way this area, and how we're gonna continue to expand. And I think we did that by the end. I don't know how many pals we're gonna end up having at the end when you're maxed out your base, or maybe it's just gonna keep going when they keep the adding key more levels. I don't know. We don't know where the game is gonna be heading at, right? But for now, at least, and this is, don't forget, this is our temporary base. This is the first base. Instead of moving everything into another place right now, I decided I need to practice. I need to practice. I need to understand the mechanics. Keep understanding the game before I decide to go somewhere else. And I prefer go somewhere else when I'm more knowledgeable on what I'm doing. So I decided, you know what? We're gonna stick in here and we're gonna work. Now, this is when I noticed. I was like, oh my gosh, the front looks so off. What happened? And I noticed, oh, it needs to be two in the front. What? Okay, so we're gonna restructure this, open this, but this actually helped out a lot, and it made it feel a little more open when you go inside the home, and I started to enjoy it. And then the house started shaping out, right? We got a little division over here, and we ended up making another division that is going to be really cool. And then we're going to kind of sort a little bit of the rooms. All of this stuff that we got on the outside, we're going to start bringing them in the inside and kind of put them in a specific way. At least that makes sense for me. And that's the most important part when you're like organizing, is that things make sense for the person that needs it, right? So always put your storage, put the location, put your anything that you're trying to do in the way that you want to. Now, I did want to put a little stone section here, and this flooring is going to be for all the tools right now, right? Like the furnace and the mill and anything like that we are unlocking at the moment. I kind of want to put it out here, but I wanted to use the stone since I unlocked it and I had it, and I have not had a good reason why to use it just yet. So I decided to do this. Now, something really cool, if you notice here, is we can go and clip into the trees. I didn't know we could do that. So that's a really cool idea for future designs and stuff like that. If there's a tree and you want to keep it. Now, I did try to keep the tree in the middle because I thought that was going to be a good idea. I was really excited about that, but I could not make any of the equipment that I needed to put here look good, make sense. It's just, the tree was in the way now. and that's why it came down to. The tree was in the way. So what I end up doing is take out the two platforms in the back and we add two more in the front. Now the tree is in the back, and then the way we put all the little furniture pieces, all our work units, now it actually looks so good and it looks so much better and it fit the vibe. Now I am going with a little more like village style look because that's the vibe that I'm getting with all this pathing that we're getting with all the wood pieces that we have. So I am, inspired to go in that direction and keep it more simple and more open like that. But I think I like the way it's coming out, and I really like this right here. It's like you coming up from your home and you got a little work area over here. You got the little lake and little lake that's coming down, filling out, or river that's coming out with a waterfall that keeps going down. I really like how all this area starts to look. It just starts looking really nice. Okay, so we're gonna go sleep, go to the next day, get some daylight, and as you can see, it starts gonna start looking much better. Now, one of the other things that we do need to do is eventually we need to add a little more platform over here because I still needed more bed. I realized that I was still a little short. It was still showing that I still need to do a couple more, right? And there we go. We got all the beds now and it's all qualified. But something that we end up doing is actually redoing that corner again, and we're gonna extend the walk around porch area, the deck area, and we're gonna do it a little more to the side. Okay, so here is when we are gonna start putting some of the big furniture units, right? I really want that to cover part of the tree, but not push it all the way to the back, and then we're gonna use kind of the center of the square to kind of center everything. And then this ones we're gonna put in the little corners right over here. I want things to feel open. I want to feel like we got a little separation, and if we need to add more, then we can work on that, right? But right now we got one, so we got four pieces all the way around, and then we're gonna add some on the stone steps, and those will add them in a specific corners, and so we can have a little walkway going on. Now you can't put this in the center, main center or something like that. They always gotta edge out and clip into one of the tiles. So it does, if you wanna be a little more creative, it won't let you. but as long as you can clip it and have it in a good place, then that's gonna look good. Now over here, I wanted to put the hot springs, right, the little hot spring things for the pals. I wanted to put them kind of very close to the actual water, and that's something that as we get to it a little bit deeper, I actually do rework that to make it look a little bit better and make a little bit more sense. Okay. All right, so we're moving things. We got that section done and all of that, and I was so inspired that I was like, you know what? Let's organize. And then this is when it became a more of a organizing type of video as well for the base. And so I decided to start taking each of the bench, take them out, and start moving them inside. And it's so cool because as soon as you start doing that, you see all the piles. Every time you put it in, they're coming inside the house and start building everything. And it's just so cool. I love this feature so much. And I think that's something that everybody's truly falling in love, right? It's like all the pal, the way they behave, the way they react, they feel alive, they feel like they're doing their thing by themselves. And you're just watching them and they're doing stuff and it's just so cool. All right, so over here I was trying to be a little clever, put over here, future proofing some of the corners to put some a little decoration, maybe some lighting or something like that. But then I decided, you know what? We need to divide the room. It'd be cool if we have a little more room instead of just a big open room. So even though we're doing this now, we're gonna put a wall right here in the middle, right where we put that table. We gotta take that out and put a division, and then we're gonna divide the room, and put another door, and then we can keep the door open, and then when you go in there, you can work on your bench area and all that. We're gonna have another little room over here that is gonna be just for the bench of the pal spheres that I think that worked out really well. So we're gonna put it like this, and just kind of spread things out a little bit more. Use the benches as furniture, right? Now you can do this inside the home. You can put them outside. You can make a working storage area if you wanted to, and put all your workbenches over there. There's different ways to approach when it comes to this. I think that's the most exciting part when it comes to right now in the early game is how you want to accommodate your furniture, your equipment, your organization, how you want it to look. Do you want it to look super organized? You don't want it to look a little more disorganized, a little more cozy, or maybe just things everywhere in pieces everywhere, this over here, and then put, there's different way to approach depending on the style that you want to decorate, right? And that's when all of this and every single one of you and every single base camp and it's gonna look so different compared to the other person because it's gonna fit a style, right? Okay, so here's when I decided that I wanted to put the wall, I wanted to add another division, and then now we need to rearrange again all these workbenches. And what I decided to put is like one facing one way and then another one, move it just a tad a little bit more and put it over here. Now, like I mentioned earlier, it's really hard to know if you're getting things centered, if it's gonna look straight, if it's a little crooked or not. So be mindful, if you need things to be super perfect and straight and not crooked, be ready that this could be something that may take you a couple tries just to get it just right. But once you practice it, I think we're all gonna get faster. So you can see I added the little door. Now we can go in and out, and that was just really nice, and it just is working together. Okay, so over here I noticed that this flooring right here was still crooked. It kept bothering me, so I kept trying until I get it just right. I was trying to see if I could be clever and put another piece and then attach it over here and then break the other one, but when I did it this way, it was registering that it was touching something else, so it wasn't working. So you see, it kept coming out crooked. So I'm like, oh my gosh, let's try this again. And I kept trying it, and then I'm trying it another angle just to see if I can get it a little more straight. And I'm telling you, situations like that, like this is when I'm like, oh my gosh, it's just not working together. Okay, so I noticed that we're gonna add another bed over here on this other side. That way we can have all the beds once again because I'm destroying things. I know I need more, so let's get ready. So I'm gonna add a couple more over here, and this again in the front is gonna get reworked, right? So when you're watching this video and you're following along, and maybe you're getting some inspiration, maybe some ideas, maybe a way to approach this design in your own way, or maybe you like it and you want to copy it, and I'd be honored if you do. But if maybe it's inspire you to do other stuff, you know. But as you're moving things, it's gonna happen the way it happened to me. You're gonna get inspired, and you're going to be like, oh, I can do this or I can do that, and you're gonna end up doing more, right? Okay, so one of the other things that we still needed to do is we still need to move the statue. And I wasn't sure where I wanted to move it. This one was our little like, where do I want to do it? And after a long time thinking, I decided to put it right here, because I think as you come into the village, it's gonna look really nice. It really stands out, and it did, and I really liked it. And it almost looks like a protector over the home, over the village, and it's just looking into the base, and I really like that. Okay, now this coming up is really cool, right? I'm putting different pieces, putting some crates, putting some barrels, putting some boxes, and just to have enough, because first I wanted to start decorating just a little bit with the pieces that we have, but not just that, because I wanted to do this that way. Then the piles got placed. They can put things in different places, because now all of these ones I'm going to start breaking, all the ones that we were using for storage. And the fun part, and one of the best thing about it is that I love, is that if you try the base and you drop things in the floor, they come, they pick it up, and they put it away. Now they put it away randomly, so you really then gotta organize it yourself. But I really do enjoy that I just broke everything, fell on the floor, and they're gonna put it away. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So okay, so I wanted to work with these vines. These vines really help a lot, and they're helping so much to give a different look, a different feel to this cabin, to make it, it's a little flat, right? It's a little flat, the texture's a little flat in some of the edges. So these vines really give it this extra greenery, and then it looks so good. I'm hoping that they add a bunch of this idea, maybe vines, different type of vines with different type of leaves, and also maybe with some flowers and long ones and different shapes, and because they are incredible. And I think more and more people are gonna love it, you know. And I'm gonna build more fiber, because I'm gonna put a lot in this particular one, because we're close to the water. I wanted to feel like we got like this vine wall going on across, and it's just I have it in my mind, right? But by the end of the video, we did add more, but you're gonna see me on the next live stream. We're gonna add so much more, because it's gonna look really good. I really like it. Okay, so the other thing is, the other light source that I really wanted to add was this wall torches. But now you can actually put them in the wall, so I really like this. So we're gonna add this all the way around, so we got some illumination, so it doesn't look as dark. And we're gonna add that all across the home. And I think this is a really cool idea, and I'm hoping to see what kind of lighting source they're gonna keep adding in the future, and more and more. And it's crazy, because this is still early access to me, and it already has so much, you know. And all I can think of is what the future can be for this game, you know. What are the plans for the developer? If this is something that just they can keep adding and adding and adding and adding, or this is gonna be a series, or this is something that can evolve and be keep adding other worlds, like a lot of other games are approaching, right? They just keep adding into the game, right? Instead of just developing another game, they just keep adding, you know. We're going through a similar experience like that with Disney Dream Valley right now, right? That they just created a DLC that expanded on the world, and we just keep going, right? So I'm hoping that maybe they go in this route with this game, you know, but especially in the crafting area. I really want to see more of the crafting element, more pieces, more furniture, more different type of walls, so we can create more buildings and more of everything. And I think if they keep going in that route, I think this game, I mean, the game right now, super successful. I mean, if you be keeping on the news, and we haven't even in a week and already sold 4 million copies, and who knows by the time this video comes out, if maybe they sold another million, and maybe they already have 5 million copies sold. But it's truly amazing, you know. And I'm really enjoying it. It's just so many different mechanics, so many things to experience, and I don't know, it's bright, right? It's bright, and we want to see where this is gonna keep heading into the future. Okay, so we got the statue, we got our working areas, you can see, we getting the pulse beds, and then I had this other idea, because I unlocked this a little while ago, but I really wanted to use it, but I've not been inspired to where to use it, right? And then I started to play around with it, and then my idea started, as you start playing, you get ideas and you're like, oh man, maybe I can do it here, maybe I can do it here. So at first I kind of wanted to do it on this section here, create like a little recreation area, but it wasn't gonna work. It wasn't gonna work. The pieces weren't gonna fit. The flooring was not gonna attach. We got this boulder over here, and so it wasn't gonna go. But now I did learn that if you take the boulder out, you mine it, then you can add a floor. I thought maybe you couldn't do it because it's gonna be a respawn point, but no. If you actually take it out, then you can put a flooring, and we're gonna see that a little later. But because I couldn't put the flooring here the way that I wanted, as you can see, I'm still trying to find a way that I can put two pieces, but it was not a go. I ended up putting it in a different spot, and then that actually worked out so much better. I ended up liking it so much, and I'm excited to what we did in the front, and it's gonna be right here. At first I was like, you know what, where to put it, and maybe I can put it more on the side, and I kind of wanted to keep it close. The idea is this is a small starting base. I don't need a big area for this. I just want it to be here, and it's kind of maybe in front of the home, kind of like a outdoor deck situation. So what we did, we're gonna expand on the deck, but not too much. I don't want it to be so big, and yes, I know we're taking over the beds of the piles, that this is gonna have to be moved one more time. And this is what I mean earlier. If you like a particular version of this design, you can keep it up to there. You don't have to add this that I'm adding right here. And like, I'm looking at it, it's looking good, but I'm having too much space, so we're gonna push a little more to the back. But then it was too much to the back, so we're gonna pull it to the front. We're gonna take the beds, we're gonna add some barrels in the back, and then everything's gonna look a little more complete, right? So, and that's what you're gonna see. Everything that I just said, that's what we're gonna do now. Now, one thing that I noticed, if you notice, my hunger went all the way to 1. When I'm focused in building and designing, I kind of forget to eat, and a lot of you that follow me know that. So don't mind that, don't mind the screen. But the good thing is it'll bring your level to 1, but you can continue to build. So so it's not a big, it's a big deal, but it's not a big deal, right? So my level's level 1, right, for the moment. But I was just so focused on what I was doing, and I was so inspired and happy that I completely forgot. And you're gonna see, let's see how long do we stay like that until I notice that I need to eat. But as you can see, I'm adding like different crates, different barrels of here and there, just kind of edging out some of the areas so they can feel a little more complete and not just so bare or just nothing, right? Just all these square shapes everywhere. So one thing that I noticed here is like, okay, I still didn't like the feel of it. Maybe I just need to go a little more in the middle. So one thing that I wanted to do is one side, I really wanted to feel like it was closed, but and then the other side open, so kind of a person can come in from behind and get in here. And what I did is I added the crate, and I used the crate as my measurement tool. And once I put it there and I matched it to the crate, then bam, we're good to go. And now we're adding a couple stairs just in different direction. I didn't want to do stairs all the way around. I just didn't feel like that was the move, so I put like one in one corner, one in another corner. And then I think in future stuff, as we continue to unlock stuff, I want to decorate a little bit more, and I think that's going to be the key. So here I wanted to test if by taking this boulder out, I can go ahead and extend the floor. And I didn't think I was going to be able to do it because thinking this is going to be a respawn point. But guess what? You can. I guess now the rock will never respawn again. So if you do this, and this is also good to know now, I don't know 100%, so we'll see if the rock will just appear in between all the legs of the deck. But if it never comes back, then that's something good to know, right? Like if you clear an area and it had good stuff that you can use a resource, but if you start building there and you block it and they don't come back, it's good to know that, for you to be aware of that, right? So this will be a good test and a good thing to learn from us. Okay, so I really wanted to finish the wrapping porch, as you can see, and we're gonna add all the remaining beds that we need. And this is so cool because once we're gonna get to a point here very soon in the video that we're gonna see all the pals running towards their bed, and it looks amazing. It just looks so cool, and they're all using their beds, and they're all so happy. And I was like, oh, I love this. Okay, so I was able to make a little couple more fibers. So we want to add a little more vines. At least I wanted to have part of this front done so I can get kind of like a feel, and maybe a little more to the side. And that's what we're going to be doing, just to see if it starts looking really good, how it feel. And I really like it, and that's what I mean. I know how I want to finish this. It's gonna be a little solo. It's not just completely covered, but I do want this to wrap around on the edges with the vines. It's just gonna look nice. It's just gonna look nice, and it's already giving a different vibe to the particular build out that we're doing. It's just taking away all that flatness and brown and giving you that little extra green. Okay, so we're adding a bunch of torches, so everything is looking nice and bright. As you can see, I still haven't eaten. Oh my gosh, I still haven't eaten. This is how long I went. And as you can see, it's looking really nice at night. At night I'm looking to see what other areas do I need to add a little more torches. Maybe a little torch over here, maybe down over here. Now the other thing that I needed was to add some type of share. So we adding some stools over here. So the great thing about this, I'm adding all this stuff, and when it comes to morning, then they start building, right? And look at look how the game looks between night and day. This game is so beautiful during the day. Like it's so beautiful, and I can't wait till we can get all the type of light source, and maybe we can get a different type of light at night that is not just the fire and this orange light. So we can illuminate in a different way and maybe make it just as pretty as we got. But okay, so what I'm doing here, I'm using the stone, and I wanted to create this idea of a stone area that's overlooking a little bit of this the water here, and that way, the pals are having a great time on their little spring. Now, not everything can clip the same way. I did have a little struggle here, and it's just, okay, I wanted to go this way, but it won't clip this way, but this one will clip this way, but it doesn't have any flooring now, and it's just not registering right. So what I decided to do is the one next to me right now on the left, that one we're gonna take down completely. We're gonna attach it to the top. We're gonna bring the stone coming from the dirt. We're gonna bring it to the front and make it feel kind of like a stone deck that is getting close to the water. And then the one there that you're seeing right now, that one will stay in there, because I do like how that feels and looks, and you coming down from the dirt and you get there. But and then the other one that's gonna extend here gonna be the same level as we do the decking. And and all of this will be preference. You may like it this way, may not like it this way. So it's gonna be up to you, this idea, if you end up enjoying it, right? I was trying to land, first of all, before I did that, I really wanted the stairs to land there, but they didn't want to land, and I didn't get it. And I tried it, and you saw we tried it, didn't land, and there's nothing more that I can do. I make sure I was out of the way, make sure I was over here, and I didn't know. I didn't know what was happening. So I was like, okay, you know what? It's gonna be okay. I'm not gonna bother. Okay, so this one is I didn't like enough to keep it down there, because it felt like I didn't have a stairway. It was a little lower than the dirt. So I was like, you know what? So that one, we're gonna make it the same level over here. Now, as you can see, I'm trying to use stairs again to see if they get somewhere down there, but it's not working. So I'm hoping that maybe they can fix that a little bit better, so we can really put stairs where we want it, even if they need to go through something, but at least we can still use it. But what I did is, as you see, I added the hot spring in that corner over there and kept the other one where it was, and then those were the final touches for now. This is one of the first attempt to improve the base area that we have, a little more organization, keep it all together, and I think it came out really well. And we're gonna keep working this more on live streaming and more videos in the future. But thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like on your way out, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and I'll see you next time. All right, guys, see you later. Bye.